But I do want to give a shout out to all the young ladies that I was with last night, my colleagues here in Montreal, and they keep an old man young, and they introduced me to beaver tail and and a bloody Caesar, which I had my first bloody Caesar I'd never heard of.
Presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats, stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 5 Dirty Bikers podcast. Here we are recording. There'll be 4 of us tonight. Brittney is conspicuously absent. She had a wedding. Great reason.
That took a fucking week.
Was it her wedding? Was it her 3-day wedding?
No.
3 days? No. Shit, was it been 4 or 5, hadn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like 4 days.
Yeah, that's a strong wedding.
Wow. Man.
Considering the divorce rate of weddings these days.
Shit, I was going to say the same thing.
I just want to set the toaster and save the gas money. It's like 50% divorce rate, dude. You don't travel 900 miles to a wedding.
Yeah, exactly. She said Jared's the best man. They had to go. I'm like, he'll be the best man again. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so let's go. Who has traveled the furthest for a wedding?
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Colorado. I went from North Dakota to Colorado.
I went to Florida.
That's further than me. From Illinois to Florida.
Does your own count?
No, it doesn't count.
No, your own doesn't count?
No.
I don't have anything to contribute to this conversation.
Well, bitches. I win something for the furthest distance.
Did you go to Mexico, Tony?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Who got married in Puerto Rico?
My sister's, my wife's sister.
Wow. They still married?
Yep.
Oh,
living
right,
in Texas.
There you
2
go.
kids. Yeah.
There you go.
All of our family reunions always happened around weddings, right? And so, and it was always a bunch of kids. The first time I got drunk was at a wedding. I was 15.
Fuck, they ought to. They ought to make funerals and weddings at the same time.
You're the reason they came up with that rule: no kids allowed.
Hey, listen, more people get drunk and get laid at funerals and weddings than probably any other event.
Thank God it's not family reunions.
Yeah,
hence why have children in the picture? They just slow shit down.
Brian, were you like that kid on Caddyshack that's drinking all the near empties in the ballroom?
No, but you know what I did do?
The backsplash.
So what'd you all do this weekend? I think this was a weekend of biker shit, wasn't it?
Well,
for the 4 of us anyway.
For the 4 present, we did biker shit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Brittney went to a wedding.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there was no biker shit that happened at that wedding.
No.
Pretty sure. Who the fuck just took your lights out, Tony?
The battery went dead.
Oh boy. So Dustin, what'd you do this weekend?
Me, I went to a Unhinged MC charity ride for the Heidi Foundation.
Nice.
Yeah, Jay Sherman came down from Northern Illinois and stayed most of the weekend and had a good time. He came down on Friday, and we went to Tilly's Tavern on Friday night, had some dinner, went and had a couple drinks afterward, and then dropped him off. The next morning, we went and had breakfast. Some of the best breakfasts ever at this Greasy Spoon on 66 in Litchfield. And, of course, he had to go back.
Was it better than the Roach Crawling Cafe or wherever we went to? And
dude, it wipes the floor with that place. You guys come back, we have to go.
I had already eaten, and I looked down. This motherfucker's got like a backpack on it so big. Going across the floor.
Oh, that roach wasn't that bad, dude. You need to go to Texas. I don't care if the motherfucker
is a quarter of an inch or 5 inches long. It's still a roach. Just saying.
Places like Joe's apartment.
For those of you that don't know, we had the guys from a few of the guys, I think 3 of the guys from the Unhinged MC on. Man, must have been a year and a half ago already.
It's been a minute, yeah.
It's been a couple years.
We had those guys on, and just a really good group of guys, and they do some charity rides. And if you listen to any of our our past podcast too, this charity ride that they hosted was going to be something similar that I was going to go ride with Dustin on last season.
Yep.
When the week that he his bike got ceremoniously backed over by a huge semi truck.
Yep. But no, this one went off without any problems. We thought it was going to get rainy, but we just had a nice overcast. It was like 73.
Oh,
And
That is nice.
it was about a 100-mile ride. There was like 5 stops, and those guys, they just do a terrific ride. And of course, Roger and Linda joined us too. It was good to see Linda's ass out on the road again.
It's got a
Nice.
fat ass.
Yeah, they raised
asked
over
Linda.
$2,000 for the Heidi Foundation, which was
Very
great.
cool.
And then me and Jay head down the river afterward. Saw the sunset in our ride out west as we were riding down the river road, and rode home in the dark and got fucking destroyed by bugs.
so you guys
You
saw the
sure
sunset?
did.
Did you go stand along the lake and hold hands and
No,
sing Kumbaya?
I didn't get off my bike.
Did you all ride nuts to butt?
Yeah, I rode the Pan Am with Jay.
So Tony, what'd you do this weekend? What biker shit did you do?
I watched it rain for 2 days, and while I watched it rain, I installed a SNS 475 cam kit in my bike.
Nice.
Fuck yeah!
So that's what I did.
So tell us about the cam kit. How was the install?
Dude, the install is pretty straightforward. I will say the adjustable push rods are a little finicky if you have sausage fingers like mine, because they don't give you a lot of room to work with to adjust them. But it's a pretty straightforward install. It's really not bad.
Tony, have you been able to change spark plugs in a bike you've owned the last 4 years?
Yeah.
Did you take the whole tank off, or did you
You
just
have to
lift
take
it up?
the tank off. Yeah.
You don't have to. I just didn't know if you actually took it all off.
With his little fingers, he's got to take the tank
Yeah,
off.
no, for like the low rider, I got to take the tank off to get the right side out.
Yeah. So I about crushed my hand completely trying to take the right side one out or whatever last year. But
it's the right side is tight. The left side you can get to on the M8. But I will say takes about 3-4 hours. It's more of a hassle taking everything off the bike than it is putting the cam in. But the quality of the oil pump and the cam plate is just far superior than what's in there.
yeah.
So it really is. If you do a cam, it is well worth the money to do the oil pump and the cam plate.
That's a scavenging motherfucker, right? That
Yeah,
pump?
it's got 3 sets of gears in it instead of 2, and it actually has the back part of the pump is separated off just to scavenge the crankcase. So it scavenges about 40% more oil than the stock
Wow.
Harley pump does. It also, you can adjust the oil pressure. It has an oil pressure adjustment on the cam plate. I mean, on the oil pump. If you wanted to, pump up your oil pressure or lower it. I think it runs at 2,000 RPMs. It runs at about 34 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you're moving a lot of oil in those M8s. I mean, you're fucking moving, 5 quarts
Yeah.
of oil. So
Unless
it's
you're
more of a
running low.
quantity over pressure. But, the stock cam plate, there's no bushing or anything bearing that the pinion gear or the cam rides in. It's just machined aluminum. And it's not even a forged piece. It's a cast piece. So it really is worth to do the cam plate in the oil pump, in my opinion.
So how do you like the tabs? You got the tabs put on, right?
Yeah, dude, I love the tabs. I got
Which-
the medium baffle. I didn't get the zombie baffle. So it barks really good when you're on it, but when you're cruising, you really don't even hear it. And that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah, that's the way the zombie is too. When you're cruising,
Yeah.
it's not bad. When you lay into it, it's loud.
Yeah.
And you left the stock head pipe on, right? So you could continue to have some back pressure.
Well, see, the thing is that I don't know about yours, where your catalytic converters are, but my catalytic converters were in the muffler.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yeah, so when you pull the stock mufflers off, your head pipe's basically just a straight fucking shot.
I think in the touring models, I think the catalytic converter is in the crossover where the two pipes join together.
I think so. And the Softails, they're in the actual muffler. So as soon as you pull the
Okay.
muffler off, you lose the catalytic converter.
Sure.
That was one of the things with that S&S pipes that I had on the Street Bob was it had a catalytic converter in it.
Okay. So, Dave, what did you do this weekend?
Well, I hit the road north for a change instead of heading out west, and rode up to Montreal, Canada, chased down some beaver tail, ate that, and then ate some poutine
Damn.
today. So, yeah.
So let me tell you. So do you go like from the poontang to the beaver tail? Or
Do the-
which way do you go? Because I mean,
you chase down that beaver tail first, and then you hit up the
then you
poutine.
hit up the poontang because I mean they're only about an inch apart.
You always go front to back, never back to front. Always front to back.
You guys are horrible. You guys are not allowed to come up to Montreal. They'll kick you out.
I'm going.
So, what kind of what's your distance for that trip?
So
About an
funny
inch.
enough, it's almost the exact same as going here to Louisville. It's about
Okay.
600 miles, just a little over 600 miles to get
That's
up there.
it?
And and I tell you, it's super, super easy coming across the border. Very friendly
Cavity
people.
search?
Nope. But I'm scared to death I'm going to get one going back. But coming over was no problem. The only issue I ran into is about 100 clicks outside of Montreal. I was pulling over and I noticed
100 dicks outside of Montreal.
clicks, motherfucker. What is up with your head?
Well, I don't know. I thought you said you were 100 dicks outside of Montreal. I was like,
That's how they-
Percy, you've been on a hell of a trip here, dude.
That's how they
You're
measure. That's how they
horrible.
measure things in the capital of Beavertail and Poonchie. They measure it in
Oh my
dicks.
god! Yeah. As I was saying, I turned off the music and I noticed my rear brakes were squealing a bit. And then as I got into Montreal and going through the city and hitting traffic and stoplights, it got worse and worse. And so fortunately, there is a Harley-Davidson dealership that is 1 mile from the Airbnb where I am.
How
so
many
I went,
dicks is that?
That's
One dick.
What is that one?
1.8 clicks or whatever. I don't even remember. Anyway, but I went in to see them today after I got done with my meetings and walked in and just said, "Hey, I'm here from the U.S. I got a problem." They took me straight into the service. They put a tech right on my bike. Guy took the back apart, came out and said, "Hey, it's your brake pads." Placed the brake pads and I was gone. These guys, they treated me like I was a fucking king coming into there. I couldn't believe it.
That's good to hear.
Couldn't
man.
believe
really.
it.
That's all jokes and kidding aside. When you're traveling on your bike in a new area and something goes wrong, you should be able to walk into a dealer and them take care of you.
It's a stressful situation. I had no
You know what I
idea, and then of course we're all, I don't dealer bash. You guys know that, but
Yeah.
recently some of us have experienced some less than awesome experiences, right? Especially Deep Freeze
Sure
Bob,
have.
right? Who got basically fucked by that dealer whose name I won't mention, but
Yep.
we'll talk about him at some point.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect. And then, of course, I'm international. And then it turns out, so I give her my registration so she can pull everything up on the computer. She prints the paperwork and hands me the stuff to sign, and it came up my Fat Bob. I don't have my registration with me. For some reason, for the last 9,000 miles, I've been riding around with the registration for
You're
my Fat
riding
Bob
dirty.
and not
You
my
had
road
all
line.
that
So
poutine on your mind.
it's the beaver tail and the poutine. Yeah.
Do you think if you tucked it like Buffalo Bill, you could actually see your penis behind you then?
No.
I guarantee it.
With one of those 360 cameras?
Hey, you can give somebody directions. They'd be like, "Hey, how do you get to this street?" You just bend over. You say that way.
That way.
I just see Ryan dancing around his bike in the garage with a nightie on.
Oh my God. How did we get accepted in the YouTube partner program? Have you guys figured that out?
No.
Have they listened
we-
to us?
We had a we had all kinds of adventures on our weekend bike trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
where did you go?
What'd you
go?
do?
And who'd you go with? Who'd you sleep with?
Last, well, I didn't have any beaver tail or poutine. I can tell you that for sure. So about a week and a half ago, we were in our group chat for the guys that I ride with, and they were like, "Hey, what are we doing on Labor Day weekend?" And none of us had plans. So he's like, "Let's go to South Dakota." So we decided we were going to go on a trip, and then we're like, "Hey, let's go on a trip that's under 900 miles." So we're like, South Dakota's like
how far is South Dakota?
672 to the Sturgis area. I'm going to say it's actually a little bit. We didn't go to Sturgis. We drove through there. We went to Hill City, which is north of. It's in the Black Hills. It's north of Rapid City. So we were right in the Black Hills. Stayed at a place called, I think it's called Quail Crossings or something like that. Had a nice suite. Had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Is that right next to the Blue Oyster?
The White Swallow Spa.
Blue Oysters across the Blue Oysters across the street and down a little ways. That's where the topless dancers are. But we didn't stay there.
Where's the White Swallow Spa?
So hang
That's
on.
in the back.
hang on.
That's in the back of the Blue Oyster.
You had 3 people in 2 bedrooms. So again, who'd you sleep with this weekend?
There was 2 fold out beds and 2 bedrooms. So I slept in the king size bed. You know me. That's how I roll.
All right.
So we
King Sporker.
I'll call you
right.
later, Bob.
so
He ain't talking.
we decided.
Has anyone seen Kenny since this weekend?
That's that thing. It was like he went to Bob and he goes, "If you woke up with rubbers all around you, would you tell anybody?"
I need to know where you stand.
I'm gonna have to get my own room at Hogs and Frogs.
So we went
You're
out
gonna
to
walk out with a little hiccup in your giddy up the next morning.
Right. That's right. So we went out there, and the first day out there, we decided we were gonna do. We went to Black Hills Harley-Davidson since Bob had never been there. Rode through Sturgis so he could see that area, and we went out to the national park. What was the national park, Dave, that you and your son went through?
You talking about Custard? Oh, Badlands.
No, Badlands. So we went out to the Badlands and took took Bob through there because he'd never been there before. So that's what we did day 1. And I'll tell you what,
riding through the Badlands.
oh, he did great. But I got a story with that. So
Oh Lord.
we went to Black Hills Harley-Davidson. They had probably, I kid you not, there was probably I'm going to say 200 bikes in their showroom, maybe more than 200 bikes.
Damn.
And there's probably 5 new ones. There was 195 used bikes. They sold 300 bikes at Sturgis this year. 300
Wow.
brand new bikes they sold during the Sturgis rally this year. So their entire showroom was pretty much used bikes, which was crazy. I'd never seen that many used Harleys in one place at one time. That's the purple purple Sport Glide that I sent Dustin a picture of, posted on FTB, was in that showroom. But
The purple nurple.
Yep. So we were on our way to do that ride on Saturday morning, and we were riding through the hills, and Bob's like, "Hey, for some reason my bike won't go, guys." He couldn't get up a hill or whatever that we were going on, and he had to pull over, and his front left brake caliper had locked up.
No.
Completely locked up.
Would you just disconnect it? You don't need a front brake.
He was he was on the top of a hill on a blind corner. Kenny made a U-turn and he went back to help Bob. I decided, instead of making the U-turn, I was going to turn around in a parking lot that was right near there. I turned around in the parking lot, and some gal in a huge Dodge pickup pulls out in front of me, and so I went around the backside of the truck, and I, did the whole U-turn handlebar lock thing. I was in the deepest part of my turn, and I looked, and you know how you're supposed to be obviously looking where you're going. So I turned my head over my shoulder, and she had stopped right in front of where I was going to be turning at.
Oh, shit.
So I'm in the deepest part of my turn, and her truck is stopped right there. I have 2 choices. I can either smash into the back of the truck or hit my brake. Well, what happens when you hit a brake in a slow maneuver when you're deep in a turn?
You fall over.
I tipped right over. Yep. So
Wow.
I dropped my bike in a parking lot, and she immediately, as soon as she saw that, she took off right away, just like left the
Of course she
parking lot.
did.
Oh.
Of course
Yep.
she did.
So a couple guys came out, helped me lift up my bike. Couple scratches, nothing really visible. More than anything, my pride was just absolutely.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
know,
a pride. That's a pride.
Yeah,
one.
absolutely. I felt like you feel like you fuck up when you dump your bike on a slow maneuver. I felt like a complete jackass because I couldn't get my own bike up off the ground.
Well,
And
hang on.
so-
Now the fucking bike weighs 900 pounds, dude. I mean,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
still, you still feel like a jackass. So
You know
some
what?
guys
though?
came over, helped me get my bike up.
If you would have used your rear brake, you might not have fallen over. Just
not
saying.
if you're locked out like that.
Yeah,
Just
you know
saying.
what, Dave? I did use my rear brake, and I still fell over. It just
Wow.
it just happened slower instead of faster. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the tip over was, I started to tip over. I put my leg down and realized I was already past the point of no return because I was also on an incline. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because of where we were riding at, the parking lot was sloping down, and I was
Well,
at the top.
those parking lots are dirty, dude. I mean, I remember they got gravel all over and little rocks and pebbles and
Yeah,
shit.
and it was
So this
it was
is
a
not
parking
stable.
lot. Yeah, it was a parking lot for a campground too. So obviously it was built in
Yeah.
a hill. So anyway, so I got my bike up. We went over to Bob. Bob bled his brakes out on the side of the road, and we went on, right. So that kind of
You know,
became
Bob
the theme
can
of the,
twist a fucking wrench, dude.
dude. He championed this thing, man. Later on, he had another opportunity where he still had the same problem because we went to the dealership. He bought all the parts he needed to quote unquote fix his problems. He brought brake fluid and all that kind of stuff. We bled the brakes, got them all working again. He had another lockup the next day, so he just disconnected the left brake caliper because he has front dual disc brakes. He disconnected the left one, went to a hardware store, got a plugged the wire on that side, zip tied it up so you couldn't tell. So he just had one front brake caliper that he was running. This dude,
Wow.
he's like the roadside MacGyver of
I was going to
Harley-Davidson.
say, he MacGyvered the shit
No
out of
shit,
that
man.
thing.
Yeah, he did. And then at the same time, while we were trying to work on that and fix that, Kenny was putting stuff in his bike for a morning trip on Sunday, and realized his saddlebag was loose, and his bracket for those new saddlebags that he just put on his bike broke.
No.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he had to zip tie. So we had to do a roadside fix for Kenny's bike and a roadside fix for Bob's bike. And this was day 2 of our ride up there. And that was a day we decided to do Iron Mountain Road. We decided to do Needles Highway. And we decided to do Spearfish Canyon all in one day.
Nice.
Wow.
So we did Needles
a
Highway.
lot,
And we
man.
didn't start. Yeah, and we didn't start our day until 12:30 because we had to fix both the bikes first. And the hardware store didn't open until 11. So we
Yeah,
fixed
that's a
both the
long
bikes.
day.
Got on the road at 12:30, hit Needles Canyon first, which was epic. We did Iron Mountain Road, which Kenny and I had never done before. And Dave,
That's
you
a
missed
beautiful
out.
place.
Did you do Iron Mountain
No,
Road?
I did Iron Mountain, but we couldn't do Needles.
Okay, because we went through those 3 pigtails. We had never seen those before.
Yep.
I got a
Yep.
great picture. I got a great picture through the tunnel of.
Yep.
I stood in the middle of the tunnel and took a picture out of the tunnel of
Nice.
Rushmore.
Route Rushmore. Yep.
Yep. The pigtail roads are awesome. So we did that through Iron Mountain Road. And after we got done with those 2 things, we came out, we were resting, and we were like, hey, are we going to do Spearfish today? And I'm like, dude, we got to do Spearfish.
Yeah.
So got back down, did Spearfish Canyon, rolled into the city of Spearfish to get some dinner. I looked at I was like, Jesus Christ. I look at my phone. It was 100 degrees in Spearfish City. It was so hot.
What
this
is it
same
with all
trip,
this fucking heat this year, dude? I'm over
dude,
it.
this same trip 2 years ago is when they had all that snow and we camped in 30-degree weather at night.
Yeah.
And it was 100 degrees in Spearfish. Dustin, we need to tell everybody about our charity bike build, don't we?
Actually, go to Weems's fucking YouTube channel this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, old man disease,
Tony
Tony.
can't remember
I'm
YouTube.
tired.
YouTube.
It's late.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tony, you have a YouTube channel too.
I do. I haven't posted anything to it in a year, though. It's literally been a year.
Are your
So,
tubes
yeah.
tied?
No.
You hadn't posted in a year because your tubes are tied?
He hasn't formed a post in a year.
He's laughing all the way to the bank. He's still drawing a
His
check.
post count is low. His video
post
count is low.
My post count is low without pharmaceutical help.
Change
Post count is
the
low.
boxers, man. Wear boxers, Tony. You'll get some videos out.
So yeah, you guys should go to Jared Weems' YouTube channel and check out the progress on the charity bike build, because that bike is being
Ripped apart,
tore
as we
down,
speak.
ripped apart, cut, chopped, stripped,
Yep,
all of the above.
his son's been getting his hands dirty with his dad.
No,
There you
his
go.
videos are very cool.
And he had it over at Blockhead's shop to have it dynoed to get some numbers on it. I think what it raking 35
it's
horsepower.
huge. No, it's huge, dude. It's huge.
Yeah.
Big numbers.
Just monster
Big
numbers.
numbers. I don't even know how you're going to keep rubber on it. I really don't.
That's what this said about
Remember
Wilt
how to
Chamberlain.
keep rubber on it?
I have that same problem.
Jesus.
Poor Tony. Tubes are tied and can't keep rubber on it.
Yeah.
Well, Tony's problem is he just falls right off.
We'll have to go
Keep
to the
laughing, you motherfuckers.
dude. We're making a trip to the. We're making a trip to the jerk off palace this time. We're gonna get some.
Go right ahead. I'm going to pass on that. I'll be at the Z.
Well, no, we should go because we need to get Brittney and Jared a wedding gift, right? Hey, maybe that's where Kenny is. Was Kenny officiating Brittney's wedding?
Dustin's gone.
So what are we?
Dustin down.
What are your plans, Dave? Are you going to get her something with a shifting knob and a steering wheel, or what?
I said we. I'm just going to pitch in the hat for you. You guys pick it out.
I'm going to say if it doesn't hold at least 8D batteries, it's worthless.
How about a pegging kit for advanced users?
I'll teach you for
She's
not
already-
showing up, Brittney.
She's already got that. She's already got that warning sign in her.
I already bought him the book
video.
Pegging for Dummies. Have you seen that one yet?
Just sitting on a coffee table when you walk in.
It's a coffee table book.
Are you following the 530 Bikers on social media? Find us on Facebook and look us up on Instagram and TikTok at 530 Bikers.